welcome to Cooking with Cori. I'm your host, Chef Cori Dern, and I'm also a proud media spokesperson for Foodland Ontario. And what says Ontario's finest more so than apples? Nothing better than a juicy Ontario apple, let me tell you. And that's why today we are making heart-shaped apple hand pies. Yes, you heard me, heart-shaped apple hand pies. Woohoo! So what do we need for this delicious recipe? We need some beautiful diced Ontario apples, which I happen to have right here. I also need some brown sugar, some cinnamon, some butter, and away we go. So I'm just going to turn on my heat to about medium. I'm going to put some butter into my frying pan and get that going. And once the butter has melted, you can see the pan is nice and hot. The butter is going pretty quickly, melty down. So I think what I will do is I'm going to add my brown sugar and my cinnamon and, of course, my Ontario apples. And I dice them up. You can, leave the skin on, take the skin off. It's totally up to you. The skin is where all the fiber is, but I'm not going to judge you if you want to peel them. That's what I did. If you're doing this ahead of time, you're going to want to put these lovely, beautiful diced apples into some water with a little bit of lemon, and then that way they will not brown, or else just dice them up quick and then get them into your saute pan, just like you see I've got this going on right here. So while these are hanging out, it's probably going to take about, I'm going to say about 5 minutes for them to soften and get all beautiful. I'm going to reduce my heat just a little bit so that when they are all softened and ready to be enjoyed, I'm going to take some apple juice, ideally Ontario apple juice, with some cornstarch, and I'm going to make a cornstarch slurry. In fact, I'm going to make my life easier, and I'm going to add the apple juice to the cornstarch. I always like to pick the thing that sticks to the bottom of the bowl. I keep it in the bowl, and then to that I add my liquid so that I'm not fussing with trying to get it out of the bowl. Okay, and that's about a half a cup of Ontario apple juice. And so what I would do is I would be sauteing this for a good, like I said, 3 to 5 minutes on a medium to low heat, because we're not looking to brown them. We're looking to soften them so that they get nice and mushy, because that's going to be our beautiful filling for our heart-shaped pie. Okay, so this is hanging out. I would take this lovely slurry, add it to my apples, stir it around, and the heat from the pan is going to make my slurry get nice and thick, and this is what I would end up with. Yum! I'm just going to eat this whole bowl right in front of you because it is so delicious. Look at that. Cinnamon, brown sugar, Ontario apples, apple juice. Yum! Okay, I won't do that. What I will do, though, is make my heart-shaped pie. And you can get a pie crust that you can roll out if you want, and make your own pie crust if you're happy. I happen to have these lids to some pot pies I had made earlier, and I like to, reduce, reuse, recycle. So I've got my heart shape stamp, and what I'm going to do is, there we go, cut out my heart. That sounded wrong, but I'm going to cut out a heart shape. And then with all my pieces, I would continue to roll them out so that I could have more and more hearts. So I'm going to do 2 big ones, just like this. And then 2 smaller ones, because they're just so cute, aren't they? Here we go. And don't worry if your crust kind of separates a bit. You can always use a little bit of water or heat to just re-put it together, just like I'm doing right here. And this one as well. This is a cute little baby one. There we go. Now, I took the time to make the apples ahead of time because you definitely want your mixture to be nice and cool before you add it to your pastry. So I'm just going to turn that down. And what I want to do first is I want to take my egg wash and I want to make sure that I cover the edges of my heart, because that way I will make sure that it seals nicely. And if you can, take a step ahead and flour your fork so that way it doesn't stick to your pie crust either. So here we go. And I'm going to take my beautiful filling and plop that into the center. There we go. And I'm only going to do it onto one side. And flip over my heart. There we go. And use my floured fork just to set the edges. Just like that. And I put it onto a parchment-lined cookie sheet, and away we go. Now could do the same with this one. I'll do that a little later. But once we are finished with making our beautiful hearts, we just take a little bit of egg wash. You don't have to go crazy with it, just a little bit on top. And then bake it until it is beautiful and golden brown. I'm going to encourage you to go to the website, go to foodlandontario.ca, and that way you can download the recipe and know about the proper cooking times and measurements. And to this, I've got some icing sugar, which I happen to love. And you can use milk or water. And I'm just going to mix this together. All right. Now this is looking good. This is how we want our icing sugar to look. Fantastic. All right. So now I'm going to use a spoon. And I just want to kind of get an idea of how it's going to pour. And here we go. Doing nice little drizzle on top. You can be as fancy as you want to be. Make any kind of design. This is where your inner artist comes through. I'm just going to do like a little drizzle. Thicker on these. So beautiful. If you want this recipe, I'd love for you to go to foodlandontario.ca or check me out at chefcori.com. Thanks for watching. And remember, good things grow in Ontario. See you next time.